This is a lesson on how to graph a quadratic. So the kind of the parent quadratic, the most basic quadratic, is y equals x squared. It's the simplest one. Any equation with x squared in it is a quadratic where the highest exponent is 2. So this is the easiest one to have. Let's work with it. So I'm going to do a table of values. It goes from -3 to +3. I'm going to plug it into the equation. So I'm going to have y equals -3 squared, y equals -2 squared, y equals -1 squared, y equals 0 squared, y equals 1 squared, 2 squared, y equals 3 squared. Okay, so I plug the x values into the equation and I get, well, -3 squared is 9, positive 9, -2 squared is 4. Any negative squared is back to a positive because negative times negative is positive. 0 squared is 0, 1, 4, 9. This gives me the x and y values of a graph. So I'll start with 0, 0. I get -3, 9. I get -1, 1. So -1, 1. I have -2, 4. And I have -3, 9. I have 1, 1, 2, 4, and 3, 9. There is my quadratic. Now on this quadratic, notice every time I'm going, my x values change by 1, but my y values change by different amounts. They start at 0. 0, 0 is kind of like the middle point. It's a turnaround point. And then it goes 1, 4, 9, 1, 4, 9. Notice how it's going up 1, up 3, up 5 from that 0. Or up 1, up 3, up 5 from that spot. That up 1, 3, 5 is going to be important. We're going to call that the step pattern. So every time on this graph, from my 0, 0, from my vertex here is 0, 0, I went over 1, and then I went up 1. Over 1, up 1 in either direction. Then I went over 1 and up another 3 in either direction. And then I went over 1 and up 5 in the final direction to get my last points. I want to call that the step pattern. Over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3, over 1, up 5. It's for the most basic quadratic, which has a vertex of 0, 0. Let's change the value of the quadratic. So now I have y equals 2x squared. It again is going to start at 0, 0. If I put 0 in for x, I get 0 for y. But now my step pattern is going to change. It's not going to be over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3, over 1, up 5. It's going to be multiplied by 2, but only the y values. It's going to go over 1, up 2, over 1, and it's going to be multiplied by 2. So it's going to be up 6, over 1, up 10. It was the basic step pattern, but double in the y values. So I go over 1, up 2, over 1, up 6, and over 1, up 10. Over 1, up 2, over 1, up 6, over 1, up 10. And I have a steeper quadratic by a factor of 2. Let's take y equals -2x squared. Same idea. If I put in 0 for x, I'm going to get 0 for y. That's my vertex. In this case, because of the negative, it's going to open down. And again, my step pattern is going to be multiplied by 2. So it's going to go over 1, down 2. 1, 3, 5 is the basic step pattern. This would be multiplied by 2. Over 1 and down, because it's negative, down 6. Over 1, down 10. So from my vertex with 0, 0, over 1, down 2, over 1, down 6, over 1, down 10. Down 2, down 6, down 10. It's from the previous point that you're doing this new step from. There's your quadratic. Let's take a new movement on it. Y equals x squared plus 4. Notice that the value in front of the x squared is an invisible 1 again. So that means my step pattern is going to be back to its basic. Over 1, up 1. Over 1, up 3. And over 1, up 5. I just need to know where to start from, where the vertex is. In this case, the vertex is going to be moved up 4. So it's not going to be at 0, 0. It's going to be at 0, 4. It's been shifted up 4. So the coordinate 0, 4 as my vertex. And from that vertex, I can follow my step pattern. Over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3, over 1, up 5. Over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3, over 1, up 5. I have my quadratic. This plus 4 shifted the basic quadratic of x squared just up 4. Let's do another movement. Y equals x minus 3 squared. Now in the brackets here, it's kind of going to shift it left and right. It's my horizontal, okay, translation. So I'm going to shift it. Actually, I want to do it to the opposite of what you see. X minus 3? No. I want to move it to the plus 3. So it's going to move over to the right 3. So the coordinate here is 3, 0 as my vertex. And notice how, again, there's an invisible 1 in front. That means I'm going to use my basic step pattern of over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3, and over 1, up 5. So from this vertex, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3, again from the new points, and then over 1, up 5. Once you figure out your vertex, you then have your step pattern to move from there. Let's change that step pattern. Now my step pattern is being multiplied by 3. And it's still positive, so it's going to open up. So it's going to go over 1, up 3, over 1, up 9, and over 1, up 15. It's the basic step pattern, but the y value is tripled. The vertex, this is in the brackets, which is going to be my horizontal shift again. And I do the opposite, so it's going to move to the left 4, so it's going to be at negative 4 and 0. And I have my step pattern to go from there. Over 1, up 1, over 1, up 3, over 1, up 5. There's my quadratic. Let's bring it all together. There are 3 movements we went over. The a value in front, that changes the direction of opening, tells you it's opening up and down, and it's your step pattern multiplier, or your vertical stretch or compression. In the brackets and the plus value afterwards, that tells you where your vertex is or where you're starting from. Let's take this quadratic right here. Y equals 3, x plus 1 squared minus 4. This has all the movements in it. My vertex is told by these 2 numbers right here. My vertex is opposite of the brackets, so it'd be negative 1 instead of plus 1, and then it's the same as this one, so it's minus 4. It's got a horizontal movement of left negative 1 and down 4. Back 1, down 4. That is where my vertex is. That's where I start. The value in front here, the 3, tells me my step pattern. I want to go over 1, up 3, over 1, up 9, over 1, up 15. Step pattern is being multiplied by 3. If it was negative, I would go down. So I'm going to go over 1, up 3, over 1, up 9, and over 1, up 15. You're going to get quite high. There is the quadratic. This is a lesson on how to graph quadratics. It goes through all the step patterns and the movements based off what the original, most basic parent quadratic looks like. Okay, thank you very much.